Because you, on your Instagram, do often post videos of yourself.
Who does?
Pole dancing. And you're very good at it.
Yeah.
But you're often quite scantily clad.
No, she doesn't.
What's the difference?
Well, I need skin contact. First of all, I will tell you why.
I have a photo.
I need skin contact with the pole to actually grip the pole to do what I do. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. And I certainly don't do it for the male gaze, and no one pays me for it. It's just a form of cardio and sport. But what
Really?
Yeah, it is. That's actually really difficult.
You only do it for cardio?
Yeah, I only do it for cardio. But
a British philosopher once said, "You can't spread your bum on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday." And this is my colleague right here, Esther Nicole. Why post it? Why post it? Why not just do it privately?
Yeah, I had to go up to her Instagram to see how it is that she projects herself. And honestly, I don't see any of the pole dance photos. Maybe she deleted them after this. Never mind. Baby girl, get the palms of those feet off of the internet. All right. Looks like this was back in 2022. Now, I thought coming up here, it was going to be a lot worse. Aha. With Instagram, you can delete. For Reddit, you cannot. When a 304S worker, Ethot, OF creator, makes a fantastic point, you know that it's the symptoms of a dying society. And no matter what you think about what she does for a living, she made several good points on this Piers Morgan debate. I also think watching Piers Morgan talk to these Gen Z whores, it's entertaining. He's a father himself, right? So one can only think the things that are going off in his mind as he's trying to be objective from a journalistic perspective. Nevertheless, we're going to go through and see what we can find. Let's go.
Absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that.
Here's my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
Yeah, because that's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat and murder you. Your husband's the man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you.
My only worry is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up an OnlyFans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing in a webcam or whatever it is.
A British philosopher once said, "You can't spread your bum on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday."
The evolution of gender and feminism is a source of endless debate in popular culture.
True.
I tackle the issue head on in my new book, Woke is Dead, which includes some essential wisdom on the subject. I look forward to debating it. One question I admittedly did not think of tackling specifically was this one. Can you be an OnlyFans model and a feminist? Farha Khalidi says you can, and that she is living proof of it.
Yeah.
Men paid to look at explicit content, blaming the women is just hypocritical. Esther Kraku, however, vehemently disagrees. So when we heard that both Esther and Farha could be in the same studio at the same time, we thought what a perfect opportunity for a lively debate on this subject. So welcome to both of you. Esther, of course, I know you very well. Farha, we've never met. We last appeared in a debate where you were down the line. And we're talking about Lord's provocative new album, which featured a woman's pubic hair, I believe, on the cover. And you took a screenshot of our exchange. Let's look at the clip first.
Guys, think
We say nothing sexual about
You can
it.
see how cute
I don't disagree with some of what you just said, but clearly this is intended to be sexual. I mean, it's not, you don't literally
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Really? And that you now have that as the banner for your X account.
I thought it was a funny screen grab. It looked like you were my father confronting me with something you found on my Instagram, and I was like looking away coyly. You can also tell I only own one dress, so that's
But basically, you're using me to promote your account, so I'm hoping for a share of the spoils.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's get serious for a moment. So, OnlyFans is a massive business, generating billions of dollars. A lot of people doing all sorts of different things on there. It's not just about, women doing sex work, whatever they want to call it. How would you categorize what you do on OnlyFans?
I mean, my content isn't necessarily that extreme, but I definitely don't want brownie points from people who are eager to slut shame the women who do more extreme content. So when I go on platforms, I just call myself a digital prostitute because, I want the backlash for it. So
a digital prostitute?
An e-prostitute, yeah.
What does that mean?
Like an e-girl or an e-boy. I just call myself like an e-prostitute. Like it's online, it's not actually physical or in the real world or tangible, but it's virtual.
And do you have sex on your platform or not?
No, I'm actually a virgin.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
my name is Bob.
If she's a virgin, then I am the Pope.
What, you don't believe her?
Absolutely not.
Well, why would she lie?
Well, I don't know what the connection is between, again, I mean, that's why I partly
Are you being
do-
serious? Or are you?
I'm being dead ass, and that's partly
What?
why I do OnlyFans, is because I'm trying to point out that like you could be a virgin in a way that isn't about purity culture or religion. You could be a virgin in a feminist way, which means you don't want to bite the bullet and just join hookup culture or just put out just because society tells you to. And I think it's really unfortunate that religious conservatism has a monopoly on abstinence culture, because 45% of women regret their first time, 30% of women regret like a sexual experience in the last 12 months, right? So I'm very interested in carving out a space for secular women, non-religious women, feminist women to also know that they can hold on to their chastity if they want to in a way that doesn't align with the toxic purity culture.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26?
Yeah.
So, Esther, why would you not believe her when she says she's a virgin?
I don't know many virgins that strip off and call themselves e-prostitutes. I think it's quite rare.
It doesn't mean she's not.
I mean, it's definitely a unique perspective. Can I just ask why? So it's empowering to take your kit off, and I'm assuming, I don't know how extensive your
Well, what kind of thing do you do on
portfolio is,
your?
but-
I mean, sort of categorize it for those who've
I
never
mean,
seen
you just
it.
got to subscribe and see. I would say,
Absolutely not. That's a good marketing though. Subscribe and see, but
subscribe and see. I mean, I offer a girlfriend experience. You could come on and I'll pretend to be your girlfriend for a little while, pretend to not be repulsed by you. I offer slutty photos and videos. And yeah, I just don't know what the connection is to virginity,
Ma'am, whether or not you claim to be a virgin, and I guess like at the end of the day, I will never know, right? The likelihood is extremely low, just like the likelihood is extremely high that you just say that in order to get more attention and more eyes, and thus more purchases. Nevertheless, though, whether or not you are a real virgin or if you engage in activity like this, you're still for the goddamn streets. So you're not proving anything. You just think that because feminism pushes the sexual liberation, you found a glitch in the matrix by proclaiming that you're a virgin. You're still an e-thought. You're still an e-girl. You're still a digital online worker. You still about that life. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now. Being the digital girlfriend to thousands of men online is more slutty than losing your virginity. Let's keep going.
There really is no
Well, I guess if
connection.
you're massively sexualizing yourself, there'll be a
Right.
presumption that you've had sex, and it's quite interesting to me that you say you've never had sex.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point, right? That's what I'm saying, is like people are unable to conceive of virginity outside of just wanting to appeal to the male gaze and being attractive to men. And I'm not a virgin because I think it'll make me more appealing in the dating market. I'm a virgin because most women regret their first time. They regret biting the bullet. Our dating pool is full of horrible men. And I think women should wait more so that they're not just going through that ringer of sexual regret.
Esther?
I'm really speechless, Piers.
You are?
But I think I'm actually speechless. So you
She
don't.
doesn't have a response.
Well, no, it's not. I
Damn.
don't have a
You
response.
blowing
First
it,
of all,
baby.
this ideology. I mean, look, it's your personal belief, and you can obviously do what you want with your body. I'm just confused what you find empowering about showing pictures of your ass on the internet. Can you explain that?
I can. Well, first of all,
Anus.
I just want to point out that like it's really interesting to me that the first time the culture and men specifically are interested in talking about like the morality of sex work and how it's degrading to women and its effects on like the social fabric and namely its effects on relationships is conveniently once women like me started turning a 7-figure profit off of it, right? Up until the advent of OnlyFans, it was exclusively feminist. It was exclusively
But there's nothing
women.
feminist about what you do. You do realize
As
that.
I was saying, it was exclusively women. It was exclusively feminists who were the sole critics of Hub. It was exclusively women who would protest things like Playboy. Like Andrea Dworkin put out a book on saying men possessing women. And in response, Playboy churned out these cartoons depicting her fucking other women, basically calling her a dyke and a man-hating bitch, right? Anytime women protested pornography, men said that you are vilifying male sexuality, and men were so eager to make synonymous with male sexuality, right? And I just think it's interesting.
But that's exactly what you do. Like, your customer base are men. You sell the girlfriend experiences to other women?
I do have some lesbians on there, yeah.
Okay, but it's predominantly men, and I don't think there's absolutely nothing feminist about what you do. You've just cut out the middleman, but you're basically working in the patriarchal economy, and you're commodifying the female body. There's nothing empowering about that. I don't know what your definition of empowerment is, but empowerment is not momentary autonomy, which is basically what you do. I can do what I want. Every human being should be able to do what they want, because that's, by virtue of being a human being, you should have a freedom over your body. Empowerment is composed of three things. One, it's yes, exercising autonomy when you want. It's two, being able to make those choices responsibly and to live with the consequences, which I don't think you actually can or really have contemplated it. The third thing is
let me keep going.
Making choices that don't limit opportunities that you have in the future. There's nothing empowering.
But it seems still right, best.
Yeah, but here, I think what women like that don't understand is that there's women that are okay with empowering themselves through their snatch. Hoes have existed since the beginning of time, which is also why listening to 20-something-year-old women talk about what has happened generations before them is a null and void activity, because you'll often hear revisionist history or just dumb shit. What do you mean men have only had a problem with S work is after women started to make 7 figures online? That's not true. Fathers have always existed to protect the young daughter from being a part of the S industry, whether that is getting up on the pole or getting up on that block. And now the father needs to be even more in tune to what's going on and the things that he needs to do in order to prevent that career path from impacting his daughter because of the accessibility given by the internet. It is now easier than ever to be a part of the S industry. I guess both male and female, but especially female. The hoe has always been the scourge of society that you want to prevented your daughters from being a part of. And it still is, even now more so, that there's people out there, it's like 0.1% of them, that are making 7 figures from it, but that has not changed.
To play devil's advocate here, it seems like she ticks all those boxes, you would say, right? I mean, you know what you're doing. You're taking responsibility for it.
I agree with what she's saying. I'm not a choice feminist. I think choice feminism is intellectually lazy. I think the choices you make.
Breakdown. Okay.
What?
There's choice feminism now. That's an interesting intellectualization. Please continue.
No, I say I'm not a choice feminist. I thought you were saying you were against choice feminist. Like, you were just saying that, like, okay, me saying my body, my choice isn't morally interesting enough, but I need to have more than that. I'm saying there's nothing
feminist about what you do because it has nothing to do with female empowerment. All you've done is cut out the middle.
Why is it?
Isn't the whole point of feminist empowerment that actually a woman can do what she wants with her body?
No, I actually don't even agree with that.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
Wow, I've been led up a garden path.
Here would be my question to you. Why is it not degrading to get naked for your husband if it's degrading to get naked for public men?
No, because that's a very simple answer.
Is it because you assume your husband's more likely to respect you? Your husband is the man in your life most likely to beat, rape, and murder you. Your husband's
you can only come to this conclusion if you have a low barometer hate for men. Like, that's the only way that you can equate your husband to a public person online who doesn't give a about you. Like the guy that has gotten down on bended knee, has said I loved you an uncountable amount of times, that honors you, right? Because you respect yourself and you conduct him with respect and peace. Yeah, there's no difference between the two of them. Send the asteroid.
Man in your life who 58% of the time is going to cheat on you. Your husband's the man in your life who 50% of marriages end in divorce, and women cite that they felt disrespected, right? So why are you assuming that by sexualizing yourself for your husband, you're reserving a seat of respect from a man versus sexualizing yourself for the public domain?
Because you're not sexualizing yourself for your husband. You're engaging in intimacy in the context of a committed relationship that has
one in which he's 50% likely to cheat on you, 50% likely to end in divorce. Of course, everything comes with
risk, but I'm sorry, treating your body like a bunch of orifices for hire is not more empowering. Ooh. Women that are in committed relationships, that are married, are much less likely to be in poverty than women that are not. There are actually societal benefits of women being in committed relationships and also not commercializing loneliness in men, which is basically what you're doing. A man paying you, a virgin, which I'm assuming is because you've never had a relationship, for the girlfriend experience is laughable. It is ridiculous. And
I like that orifices for hire, but essentially what the young lady is saying is that if we had only this OF chick walking around on Earth, we'd be doomed. No more families. The human race would not continue. We'd be done. So in other words, this is just a stupid way to think.
Believe in the male loneliness loneliness epidemic. Did you know that study
I'm not
found
saying
89% of OnlyFans subscribers are married men? The male loneliness epidemic is absolute bullshit.
That's pathetic. But the point is,
let me ask you.
I don't have a problem
Ladies,
with what you do.
time out. Let me just I'm trying to get my head around this. So I'm curious about the economics of this because I'm told that, for instance, there's this woman, Sophie Rain, said to be OnlyFans' biggest earner with estimates of up to $50 million a year coming from her business. How much are you making?
I don't share the specifics, but I've made over $1 million.
Over $1 million? Yeah. In what period of time?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. Mm-hmm. You did train to go to law school, right?
I was initially planning on going to law school, but I started doing TikTok full-time straight out of college and then was doing social media, yeah.
What do your family make of what you're doing? Honestly.
Well, my father's dead, and my mom is tolerant of it, I think. She was more opposed to me even putting myself out there on TikTok when I was just doing like very casual skit content and stuff, right? So to her, this is just another extension of that.
And extended family? You have any siblings?
I do have siblings. I think they just find it cool. Not necessarily the only specifically, but I think they think it's cool that I do social media and do stuff like this.
I'm interested in this whole feminist empowerment thing because I assumed, falsely it appears, that meant the whole point of it was men shouldn't be telling a woman what to do with her body.
Choice.
She has power over what she does. She has power over her idea of femininity. She can do what she wants. If she wants to show off on her OnlyFans account to people prepared to pay to watch it, and it's all legal, why do you care?
I don't care, but I think the idea of calling it empowerment and somehow feminist is completely ridiculous. And this is why definitions matter. This idea that having momentary autonomy over your body is somehow empowering. I'm sorry, gorillas do that. Like every living being should and does ideally have autonomy over their body. That's a pretty low bar.
You're not comparing it to a gorilla.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying every living thing objectively has some sort of autonomy over their own body. We're talking about empowerment, which is what feminism was supposed to be. Feminism was supposed to be about autonomy, obviously, and having choice over your body. It was supposed to be about allowing women to make choices that give them the dignity and independence to pursue their own lives as they see fit.
No, it's
and
not.
Also in pursuit of that, with the responsibility of making the choices that you're making, knowing that those choices will actually give you more opportunities in the future. None of what you do qualifies for that other than the momentary autonomy. Your options are not going to expand because they're pictures of your bum on the internet, right? It's going to be a lot harder if you want to be a politician, for example, or a CEO or a lawyer.
What if she doesn't want to be?
That's fine. By the way, that's fine. But part of empowerment is also being able to make those choices responsibly and live with them.
Are you in a relationship?
Hold on.
See, she's just making shit up, right? And this is part of the issue with feminism is that the new age modern day feminists, right? They construct feminism around a specific ideal of feminism, of what they think that women should be. And this is part of the issues that trad wives have with them, because when a trad wife talks about being stay at home, feminists will get mad at them because it's not them being a boss, be independent queen, sexually liberated. So the black woman is putting like a nice sheen of paper on the definition of feminism, probably to rewrite it in modern times today, because the definition of the past 5 to 10 years or so has been completely besmirched and dragged through the mud. So while I think that the butthole seller is morally corrupt and deranged, I mean, just think about that marriage versus public man conversation. I also cannot agree with the black woman's definition because I know it not to be true.
Yes.
Oh,
with a man, or
Yeah.
how long has that been going on?
It's pretty new.
And what does he feel about what you do?
He's supportive.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually been on this show.
Yeah. Hang on, who is it?
You know Dr. Jack Symes?
What?
Yes. When did I interview him?
About...
Does he know that he's being...
No, hang on. I'm trying to remember who he was.
No, he doesn't know I'm on OnlyFans.
No,
he hasn't looked me up yet. I use an alias.
Well, wait a minute, Esther. I need to get the moment. So, what was he on for on Uncensored?
With Natalie Winters talking about like the Quran and sexual violence or something.
Yes, I remember this. Yes.
Now he's dating you?
So, did you meet him through this show?
Through this show?
Yeah. Was it after you saw him on the show that you?
Piers,
I think
the
I'm sure he saw more
matchmaker.
salacious content elsewhere. And
Yeah, he subscribed to my own OnlyFans. He couldn't get enough. No, I met him at another like philosophy event we were at.
But he knows what you do,
Of course.
and he's fine with that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem a little bit like unsure.
Well, it's not like it's gonna be like ecstatic, jumping for joy about it. But
Really? But you're empowered.
he's not. Yeah, like he's.
Where's
supportive.
Andrew
Yeah,
Wilson
sure.
at?
But would he rather you give it up?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. It's a pretty new relationship.
Right.
anyway.
So anyways, why is it degrading for me to just have vanilla? If I were to just show myself just naked, nothing degrading. I'm not getting shat on. I'm not getting pissed on. I'm not doing
Why
nice
is that
play
even
online.
degrading? But why do you assume that even just being in a state of undress, there's nothing degrading about it for random people that don't know you?
Why is it not degrading to do it for your husband, who's
Wait a
most
minute.
likely
Wait a minute. Time. Now, I'm going to call you up.
What's so crazy? She keeps on calling out this husband comparison. Meanwhile, the husband is protecting, providing. He'll lay down his life for you. All right? He's bringing you happiness. The comparison is so ridiculous that it's disgusting.
Okay.
Because you, on your Instagram, do often post videos of yourself.
Who does?
Pole dancing. And you're very good at it.
Yeah.
But you're often quite scantily clad.
No, she doesn't.
What's the difference?
Well, I need skin contact. First of all, I will tell you why.
I have a photo.
I need skin contact with the pole to actually grip the pole to do what I do. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. And
Is this hoes policing hoes?
certainly don't do it for the male gaze, and no one pays me for it. It's just a form of cardio and sport. But what I
Really?
Yeah, it is. That's actually really difficult.
You only do it for cardio?
Yeah, I only do it for cardio.
Really?
I promise, yeah. But
A British philosopher once said, "You can't spread your bum hole on a Saturday and then expect to be treated as a professional on a Monday." And this is my colleague right here, Esther Nicole. Why post it? Why post it? Why not just do it privately?
Yeah.
because I
Look
want
at this. I've never even been upside down on camera.
I'm sure you've done
What do
other
you think
things
of
on
that?
camera.
Well, I do think it's
But you can subscribe and find out.
Why is this okay? Why did she have to post it?
It's
did you have
both
to post
hoe
this?
shit.
Because I was in a pole club
Oh.
and I did a move that I've been practicing.
Oh, this is worse. You did it for free. I should get paid. My parents.
I should get paid. Oh, okay. Here's the thing.
But why did you post this?
Here's the thing.
Were you
because
teaching
because I
people?
because I wanted to. I've actually taught as well.
Oh,
before.
I thought it has to be empowering. You can't just be your body, your
I'm
choice.
sorry. I'm not the one sitting on the internet, spreading my legs open, and telling
Yes,
people
you
to
are.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
telling people to pay me for it, and then saying that's somehow empowering to women. If you knew anything about pole dancing,
so you're
but do
posting
you know
this and
how?
saying,
Do you
I'm
know
not saying this is empowering. I'm degrading myself, but I'm posting it anyway. Is that what you're saying?
how is that degrading myself?
Well, she's a very highly skilled pole dancer.
Oh.
Well, it is a.
I was going to ask what can you do, but I'm sure you have to subscribe to find out. But the point
do.
I was making is, you do realize there are gradations between domestic abuse and online prostitution. Do you recognize that?
Wait, explain. What do you mean?
Well, you keep saying that what is the difference between getting naked from my husband, who's 50% more likely to beat me up, and 50% more likely
He's
to...
the man in your life most likely to kill you, so I'm asking you,
Yeah,
why
but
is it more
that's
degrading?
domestic violence, and actually what you decided is murder.
And
what, so...
Not just that. Cheating on you is a form of disrespect. The fact that most marriages end in divorce with women filing for divorce because they felt disrespected either because of adultery, because of emotional abuse, physical abuse. They felt like their husband wasn't listening to them. I'm not saying they should sell themselves. I'm saying I don't subscribe to the delineation that by sexualizing yourself just for your husband rather than for the public eye, that you are somehow doing it for someone who respects you more and loves you more.
How do you feel about the likes of Bonnie Blue and these others who are, I'm gonna have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours and stuff?
Before she answers that, without a doubt, this chick is going to have a meltdown in a couple of years. But for the other young lady who puts her hindquarters up on the internet while she does a sexually suggestive dance around a pole, policing her is absolutely incredible. I had to go up to her Instagram to see how it is that she projects herself. And honestly, I don't see any of the pole dance photos. Maybe she deleted them after this. Never mind. Baby girl, get the palms of those feet off of the internet. All right? Looks like this is back in 2022. Now, I thought coming up here, it was going to be a lot worse. Aha! Where Instagram you can delete, for Reddit you cannot. You can cover up them damn cheeks and make it work, baby girl. You the only one in there thonged out. And this is all that I found in literally 2 minutes of looking online. I'm sure y'all can find some more. But you can see the cognitive dissonance right here to talk about empowerment through choice and showing components of your body. And then you also have photos of this online. Again, not defending the other girls so much as digging into the psyche of these modern day delusional feminists.
I mean, I see her kind of as more of like a performance artist. I feel like it's funny that people see her as like a consequence of feminism, when in reality she's more of a consequence of the male gaze. When she says stuff like, anyone can fuck me, like a married man, a 18-year-old boy, a father-son duo, people are like, this is the ultimate logical consequence of feminism. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's literally holding up a mirror to the popular categories, which have reigned at the top of the hub for the past 2 decades, right? So I think it's ridiculous that people associate that with feminism.
Do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy around the criticism?
Are you not a
I
consequence
think
of
it's
the male
ridiculous
gaze?
that they see her as, again, like the logical consequence of feminism when she's basically just like the purest form of the porn industry, which feminists were protesting for decades. And suddenly now other people want to protest only because of OnlyFans.
If
only
you
because
got
of women
married
like
and
me.
had a daughter, would you want her doing this?
I would be opposed to her making that type of decision until she was at least like 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her even like posting what Esther posts until she's 23, 25. I'd be opposed to her
I'm
having
almost
her
30.
sexual
OnlyFans
debut.
allows women to do
What?
it when they're...
I'm 30. I'm not a child.
I didn't say you were. He was saying what I want my daughter to do.
OnlyFans allows you
I
to
wouldn't
do it.
even want my daughter to be having sex until she's like 23, 25, because when you look at longitudinal studies of sexual regret, you're least likely to regret those types of things when your sexual debut, when you lose your virginity,
You
is
can
around
be
23.
18 on OnlyFans. That's the legal cutoff point to start doing.
Yeah, and
the
I'm
kind
saying
of
I would
thing you're doing.
advise my daughter to wait until she's 23 to even post
should be
like a
25.
bikini photo on Instagram, because the rates of sexual regret in general just completely plummet after the age of 23.
Do you know why sexual regret, though, is higher?
Laura-
It's not because of the age. It's because they're in the context of casual sex.
Yeah,
and the
because
reason why
because of
and the
sexual coercion.
It's not,
and you're
oh,
actually
God.
most likely to be sexually coerced by a romantic partner rather than a casual partner. Women report being most likely to be reported into violent sexual acts by their boyfriend or husband, and that's why.
Like we can trust their reporting. That's why these women choose the bears, because they categorize men, or they find any way to categorize them as dangerous. It will create terms like sexual coercion. That's a feminist propaganda term. What does that even mean? That a man wants to have sex with a woman and is saying and or doing things to have sex with a woman? Guess what? Women are doing the exact same things. This is the hookup culture that y'all wanted, that gets pushed nonstop on these college campuses. But they label it sexual coercion, meaning men are coercing these women and they're victimizing themselves, even though these women are just as freaky. Or they'll go back after the deed is done later and determine that it's sexual coercion all the way up to R word. Let's go.
Pimps, for instance, are so eager to employ like the lover boy method because they know nothing gets a woman saying yes faster to a sexual act than playing boyfriend or husband. So when you talk about sexual regret and sexual coercion, it's not more from casual sex. It's actually more likely to be caused by your boyfriend or husband. Did
Does
you know
it
that?
concern you
It's
that...
actually under the influence. It's also because under the influence of drugs and alcohol, which is when a lot of sexual encounters.
Okay, but what do you
take
think
place.
about that? The
and
fact
you're
that
actually
women are
citing
statistically
studies by the
that women
American
are more.
Psychological
What do you think of the
Association
fact
that you
women
don't really know?
No, genuinely address it. What do you think of the fact that women are most likely to be pressured into sexual acts by a boyfriend or husband because that type of arrangement that you see as so loving and respectful actually primed her for coercion?
Well, first of all, that's self-reporting, so we don't actually know the
okay.
context behind it. And secondly,
because you were just so eager to cite sexual regret in the context of casual sex, and now that it's inconvenient, now you're like, well, that's self-reporting. It doesn't really count.
No, but the point is, if they're in a relationship where they feel pressured to commit sexual acts, they're in the wrong relationship. And usually, do you know how to model a right relationship? When you've seen it, when you've seen people in healthy, stable relationships. I don't know why you jump from one extreme to another, because you clearly have a very negative association with sex and hang-ups around it. And you just think, I'm just going to make myself safe by being this virginal weirdo that spreads my legs on the internet. But somehow, being in a healthy, stable relationship, which has actually been the prime conditions for building a society, having loving relationships, raising children.
I am in a healthy, stable relationship. I'm not anti-relationship.
That's why he's so thrilled that you're on OnlyFans. But wait until you have that conversation. I'm sure he'd love the mother of his child to have a bum spread on.
Does it concern you that OnlyFans is owned by a Ukrainian billionaire who's making a fortune
No,
out of
because it's empowering.
Women like
because
you do what
women
you
have
do.
cut out the middlemen, so it's empowering.
My point being, he's a man. Does it bother you?
What
that-
industry
He is the
isn't run
pimp.
by some male billionaire? I don't know what that has to do with anything. And that's kind of my point, is I'm not going to
Well,
argue
it's the
that...
patriarchy, isn't it?
I'm not gonna
I mean,
argue-
Barbie would have a
It's the
fit.
ultimate
I'm not going to
patriarchy.
argue that a lot of the sex work industry isn't
He may be the highest grossing PIMP of all time. Think about that.
rife with exploitation, but the way I see it is like you could look at the cocoa industry, and a lot of that's also rife with like really unethical labor practices. That wouldn't make it unethical for me to grow chocolate in my backyard and eat it, right? So I think we need to be able to separate the immorality of like the supply chain
let me
and
ask you,
labor
look, just-
practices
look,
and the actual morality
okay.
of the product.
Farah, I don't know you.
So even if there's a lot of men taking advantage of these women and coercing them, that doesn't make it inherently wrong.
I hear you. Listen, you've got a sort of machine gun style of defending yourself. What I haven't seen much from you is a smile. I'm not entirely sure that you massively enjoy
You have to
this.
subscribe for that, Piers.
No, it's not that. I just wonder how much you actually enjoy it, or whether it's a job and it's making you lots of money,
a
but that
great
actually,
segue.
if you didn't have to do this for the money, you'd be out of it in a million miles an hour. Does it actually make you happy?
I do enjoy it because I grew up in a pretty conservative Muslim household, and what's interesting about a lot of these purity cultures is that they claim to be so anti-sex, and in the process of it, they sexualize you relentlessly. You're constantly being sexualized. They're making sure, your skirts are long enough, that your clothes aren't too form-fitting, and I found that so sexually uncomfortable for me. And I find what I'm doing now, yes, I do find it liberating having gone through that, yes.
Do you?
I do.
That's not what he asked, because if you look into her eyes, you see solace, right? You don't see a smile on her face, and she complains about goddamn everything. Do you like what you do? Or are you just utilizing this as an excuse for your background or whatever trauma that you think that you suffered within your past?
Or
What do you think?
You could just be somewhere in the middle and just make decisions for yourself and understand that actions have consequences. You don't necessarily have to sexualize yourself to feel liberated.
Why did you post that? You didn't answer my question.
Because you wanted to.
Why did you
That's
post
the point.
it?
I don't just see myself as a sexual object. I'm actually intelligent. I'm confident. And
Oh,
I don't.
I'm
I don't.
not.
I don't
I'm
feel
not.
the
Am
need-
I not
Hold on,
intelligent,
I don't
Piers?
feel.
Well,
I
she
don't
certainly
feel
strikes me as intelligent
Yeah, okay,
and
of
confident.
course. But
So
the point
what's the
is-
difference? Why is it
here's-
okay for
here's-
her to spread her bumhole on
here's
the
the
internet, but
difference.
it's okay because she's also intelligent, successful? I'm also very
I'm
intelligent
not charging
and successful.
people for it, and it's in the context
That's
of a
worse.
sport. Do you?
They're wanking to you
look
for
at
nothing.
Look at the runners in the Olympics, like the female 100-meter sprints. They're wearing literally bum shorts that show their bums and their legs,
They're
and
not
a
wearing
sports bra.
thongs.
That's
But
a
they're
great
doing it in the
point.
context of the sport.
If you were running like miles per day for free versus for money,
so you're
the
talking
person
about something you have no experience of. You've never tried pole. You've never done anything. But because it doesn't qualify for the kinds of sports that's okay with you,
What?
you think you're drawing a moral equivalence. Pole is a sport.
I didn't say it wasn't. What?
But I'm doing that in the context of a sport.
Okay.
Our gymnasts.
And mine's in the context of a job.
Oh, it's okay. Well, listen, here's the thing. Bottom line, I don't really care what you do. I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy you're getting paid and you find it fulfilling.
And I'm happy you enjoy pole dancing.
The line I'm drawing is this.
I'm happy you picked the sport that
there is
correlates
nothing
with a form of sex work. You
feminist.
didn't have to
It
do
does,
that, but
yeah.
you chose to do it because
Feminist
you
or
enjoy it.
empowering about what you do. That's just where I draw the line. Because
And
there are
you
women
haven't-
around
you
the
haven't-
world.
you haven't
There are women around the
explained how.
world. There are women around the world that don't have the privileges of living in a Western democracy like you. That can call the police if they're getting abused. There are women around the world that are actually being pimped out by horrible men, sleeping with probably a dozen men a day.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I literally just say that you have to be able to separate the
hold on.
morality from the product, from the practice? Same with chocolate.
It's
Would you
all-
say,
but,
Piers,
my
would you
dear,
say
it's all
chocolate?
prostitution.
Would you
It's
say
all
chocolate is
prostitution.
objectively immoral
You're as
because
much a hooker as they are.
Would you say
It's all
chocolate is
prostitution.
objectively immoral just because the supply chains tend to be
I
immoral?
don't think you can look at my physique and expect me to say chocolate is immoral.
Well, chocolate is
I had a
definitely.
very
No,
nice
but
bounty
genuinely,
bar
what do you
only
think
half
of-
an hour ago.
What do you think
It's
of
a
that
fruit.
analogy?
It's a fruit. It
What do you
doesn't
think
choose
of, what do you
to be
think of that
grown.
analogy?
Do you know what I don't really think about this? It's interesting. I personally, my view of feminism is actually that women should be able to do what they like without men controlling their lives, telling them what to do, blah, blah, blah. If you want to do what you're doing and it's legal and people want to pay for whatever it is that you offer up, I don't care. It's fine. My
Unless
only
it's your
worry
daughter.
is that what it's become is a kind of genuine career path for a lot of young girls who might look at this and think, all I need to do is set up a fans account, take my clothes off, and a bunch of guys will pay money to watch me do my thing privately in a webcam or whatever it is. And I think that is the bit of it that concerns me, is
I
that a
agree.
whole generation of young girls think they're a bit like they did with the Kardashians in a different way, is that there's a shortcut to fame and fortune that involves no actual skill. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent, doesn't mean you're not beautiful, any of those things. It's not a skill. Anyone can do it. And are we creating a whole generation of young girls who think this is a better career path because it's more lucrative?
I agree.
than
That's
doing,
why.
than
That's
doing
why
actual
I
skills.
initially said, like, when they asked me, like, I don't share my income publicly. This was the first time because, like, I don't want to encourage women to go into it. And I always say in every podcast appearance I do that I don't think girls should go into it. The average income you make is $100. The median income is $30 a month. And for me,
on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Right.
For me, I was already sitting on 2 million followers. I was already doing social media full time. I knew I was going to be able to retire off it and cash out off of it. That's not the case for
And when
most
do you want to
women.
retire?
When do I want to?
When do you want to get out of it?
I mean, I love doing it. I think it's so fun. So, I mean, I'll keep it going for.
Or do you
probably-
just love the money? Be honest.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I love this more than the money. I love defending it. I love the smoke.
But
I
if
love
you were
the
making
backlash.
no-
I
if
love
you-
being slut shamed. I think it's really fun.
Well, I'm
I
not
would,
slut-shaming
I would
you.
trade all the money in the world for this.
She's a liar.
I've got no intention of slut shaming. I think it's entirely
Well,
down
you're
to
not
you.
in a position
There's
to
no-
because you're
there's
upside
no-
down on a pole and
no,
stuff.
well,
So.
yeah, because I actually have a skill, because
cooking
I'm
it.
athletic. Anyway, no one's
So
slut
if I do
shaming.
OnlyFans, I'm skilled now. Would you be
If you-
would you
if
be
you're
supportive of my
trained-
OnlyFans if I did
If you
everything
try-
upside
here's the thing,
down?
I actually follow pole dancers, many of whom are former gymnasts, that actually do this. And I don't have a problem with it. Again, I don't know why you think I'm so invested in your life that I care about what you're doing. The point that I'm making is there is nothing feminist or empowering about what you're doing. Empowerment means you actually create opportunities for yourself. There's a long-term look at hold on, there's a long-term perspective of empowerment. A heroin addict doesn't create long-term opportunities for himself because he's engaging in momentary autonomy of taking in heroin. If women that fought for the choices of women wasn't because we want
You know a difference though?
Heroin.
Here's my question.
There's a big
fighting for women.
Opportunities for myself by getting on a show like this, making $1 million.
Because you cannot become a lawyer or a politician because there will be pictures of your butthole on literally billboards around cities.
Do you think if you ran for office, that photo would not be plastered all over every commercial? They would say, do you want this woman running your state or your country?
Yes, that's fine.
That's fine. Then it's fine for me too. We agree.
Oh, okay. So.
Got to say, I don't think either of you are actually going to become politicians.
Why?
Are you? Have you got any plans to?
No, I definitely do. But the thing is, I think there's something deeply offensive about the sacrifices that women have made to give women the choices to be able to advance themselves in their lives and actually pursue things that they want, and being compared to online prostitutes, which are a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that generally just don't want to be waitresses and actually just want to get easy money online. I think there's something deeply offensive about that.
Well, it's an interesting debate. And
I'll pause it right here. All in all, in consideration of all the points and the arguments, Mia Khalifa Light held herself pretty well within the confines of the debate. And I think as if this woman is trying to defend some point within feminism and saying that it is not empowering to have the option to choose this type of lifestyle. I just don't agree. It is empowering because they can choose. I just don't think that it's moral, nor would I want any of my homegirls participating or my future children participating in this lifestyle. And that's fine. If you want to have an argument based off of what you think is wrong and right, that's cool. But then to also post photos of your own cheeks up on the internet dancing around a damn stripper pole and act like that is much to any different is absolutely hilarious. But they asked an interesting question towards the end there, which is, what would you be doing with your life if you had all the money in the world? And she kind of deflected and obfuscated the point, but she would absolutely not be doing this. She said it herself. She was sitting on 2 million followers. She was probably broke as hell. And she said that she wanted to cash out. Now, she's in her 20s and she's only made $500,000 a year doing this over the past 2 years. You're going to have to do this for a bunch of more years in order to maintain a certain level of lifestyle. But I tell you what, that doctor guy better be careful because he about to get set up like the Shannon Sharp situation. You understand me? And then depending upon how much money he got, she'll wind up retiring just like the Shannon Sharp young lady. All right. After it's all said and done, they don't want to be up there. They're doing as a means to an ends and then hope that their future love interest forgot or doesn't know that they were ever involved in it in the first place. And I guess the last place I'm going to leave this conversation is I just don't understand the dudes that, reward this kind of behavior. Unless there's levels to it, right? There's some dudes out there that, think of these as like a girlfriend experience and they, in their mind, they're convincing themselves, right? Like, I would say that's the far small percentage. And my fingers are crossed as I say that, right? Because I don't have stats behind this. But then most of the dudes just utilize it as some get over period or a small escape from whatever dating that they're doing, or some of these dudes that are married, right? Like they utilize these hoes, as what hoes have always been utilized for, like an escape, right? Side chicks, right? Like it never been the main chick, but they must understand that you vote with your dollars at the end of the day, all right? If you reward this type of behavior, it's gonna multiply. Every dollar, every like, every comment, and shit, even if you're not paying for the OF, all of the likes on these chicks that go up on Instagram and, they even might talk shit about Mia Khalifa 2.0s, but at the same time, they posting their ass cheeks on the Instagram, just like her debate partner within this. You understand me? So at some point, if you like the shit, your white knight ass and your simp ass is contributing to the downfall of our society. Yes, you. Why are you fueling the very system that inevitably will disrespect you? I do not understand it, will never understand it, and I think until men can take accountability for that, accountability will never make a comeback. All right, guys, share your questions, comments, concerns down up in the comment box down below. Did you enjoy this conversation here today? I know I did, all right? So you better had, all right? Until next time, you two. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? out your echo chamber screaming period and yes, you a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.